When I look back on 2019, I'm going to remember it for a specific reason. It was the year I watched a lot of Italian movies and I discovered Mario Bava, which is a really strange one. A person I'd heard of but hadn't seen any of his movies, and now I'm on to 8 or 9 that I've watched this year so far. The latest being Blood and Black Lace. Now, this is one that's quite renowned. It's one it took me a while to get to. The cover art looks a little bit messy. I don't know why I feel like that, but it was one that I kind of put off. And this is all about the typical Giallo fashion. We have a masked killer killing people. We don't know the reason why, but we're going to discover it by the end of the movie anyway. And what I loved about this was it was set within the fashion world, within this modelling agency who were putting on a show. And you have all these people working about to try and make things happen. You have all these bright and luminescent colours throughout the movie, and that's one thing I'm going to come back to later on, the colour of the movie. And then we have these various people that populate the film. And one of the things I gravitated to straight away was the constant refreshing of the leading lady. You know Giallo movies, you know slasher movies, there's going to be a final girl of some sort, and as the movie starts we meet our final girl only to see her dispatched in brutally bloody fashion. Okay, then we'll move on to the next one. This is our final girl, so we get to meet her and see some things in her aspect, and then she gets brutally murdered in a bloody fashion. Then we move on to our next final girl, and it just never really broke that mold. It was great that it just constantly reinvented, constantly didn't feel the need to latch on to a particular character, although it does later on in the movie for specific reasons, but it constantly kept it fresh and kept me guessing as to what was happening. You know, usually these kind of movies have a formula, and to a certain extent Blood and Black Lace follows that, but by constantly reinvigorating its main character, by changing it up, it was rather interesting. You know, you kept thinking that person's going to get away. No, they're dead. Next, the look of the killer was fantastic. This kind of black hat, black overcoat and gloves, and this muslin covered face was a unique, nondescript kind of killer that was fascinating. Now, the blood and the guts and the kill sequences are superbly set up because you have this almost mystical killer that knows every location, that can move expertly around it and seems to corner our victims at happenstance. There's one where they go to a house of somebody and there seems to be a lot of mannequins and things about. And they play a lot with the lighting in this scene. It reminded me a lot of Lights Out, where the lights were on and somebody's there, they're flicking off, they disappear, they put them on, they're a little bit closer, off, they've just vanished completely. It was expertly done and really nicely done with the shadows and the playfulness. There's one where we follow a character, and as we follow her down the stairs and under a mezzanine, we see somebody moving above it, and it was all expertly laid out and shot. It's easy to see why Bava has become one of my favourite directors this year, because of the way he thinks a lot about his composition and about how the camera is going to move and how it's going to elevate the story like it does here. Now, one of the things I mentioned at the start was the colour of the movie. It is vibrant and fun and in your face and super bright and technicolor almost, and it's so interesting to look at. Lots of things and lots of colours going on in the scenes that just have your eyes darting all over the place looking at certain things. And the music as well just accentuated that. It had such a fun kind of jazz beat to it. It was very playful as well, and kind of alleviated some of the more shocking scenes. The end of the movie was something that I just was not expecting and I thought was terrific, and I'm not going to talk about it because I was happy not knowing anything about it. If you haven't seen it, I want you to enjoy it for what it is as well, but I thought it was an interesting, twisted tale on a giallo, and something that was rather fresh, considering that this was at the start or very early on giallo. It wasn't really copycatted too much, and it's just a perfect example of this kind of subgenre. This is really up there for Bava for me. I loved it almost instantaneously. You know, you see a movie, you see the way it's staged, and the music and the lighting and the composition, the choice of angles and the way it tells its story, and you just know within the first 5 minutes, I'm going to love this. And I did with Blood and Black Lace. Terrific movie. If you've seen it, I want to know your opinion of it, what you think. How does it stand in the lexicon of Giallo movies? Let me know in the comment box below, and I'll see you next time on Man vs. Film.